Okay, stop everything for just a second. Wherever you are, walking the dog, commuting, maybe hiding in the pantry from your kids, just freeze.
Don't check your phone.
Don't fix your posture. Just be. Now, answer me this. What are you doing right now?
You're listening, I'm sure.
You're sitting, but there is one thing you are doing that you literally cannot stop doing for more than a few minutes without, well, passing out.
You're breathing.
You are breathing.
It's the single most fundamental act of survival. I mean, something like 20,000 times a day, you pull air in and push it out, usually without devoting a single neuron of conscious attention to it.
And here's where it gets really interesting to me. Breathing is this weird biological unicorn. I was looking through the intro materials for today, and it just struck me.
What's that?
It's the only bodily function that is fully automatic, like your heartbeat or digestion, but also fully voluntary.
Yeah.
You can't tell your liver to work harder. You can't tell your heart to pause, but you can take the wheel of your respiratory system at any moment. It's like a secret backdoor into your own operating system.
That's a perfect way to frame it. It is the bridge. And today we're doing a deep dive into a very specific, very grounded method of crossing that bridge. We are looking at a stack of research and materials on something called Spectrix Breathwork.
Now, I have to admit, when I first saw breathwork on the schedule, my skepticism radar, it pinged a little.
I get that.
I immediately pictured, crystals, expensive incense, and people floating on clouds while ignoring their problems. But reading through the Spectrix documentation, that is definitely not the vibe here. This feels much more mechanical.
It is mechanical, and that's why it's gaining traction in circles that usually roll their eyes at wellness trends. The Spectrix approach frames breath not as spirit or mysticism, but as intelligence.
As intelligence, okay.
It's about leveraging biology. The core premise isn't about escaping reality. It's about tuning the instrument you use to experience reality.
So let's get into that tuning. The mission for this deep dive is to demystify this. We want to separate the physiological facts from the woo-woo fiction. Specifically, how does this method claim to regulate the nervous system without needing any equipment?
Well, let's start with the definition.
Because even that surprised me. I expected something really flowery, but the source defines it simply as the intentional use of breathing patterns to influence how your body and mind function.
It's deceptively simple, but the key word there is influence. You aren't just moving air, you are sending a code.
A code.
Yeah. When you change the rhythm, depth, and pace of your breath, you are directly signaling the autonomic nervous system. You are altering the pH balance of your blood by managing carbon dioxide levels. You are physically shifting your state.
The text uses an analogy that I found really helpful, the nervous system as a radio.
It's a brilliant metaphor for the modern condition. Imagine your nervous system is a radio. Most of us are walking around with the dial stuck between stations. You know that sound?
Oh, yeah. Static, white noise, that low-level hum of anxiety where you can kind of hear the music, but it's all garbled.
Exactly. That static is the sympathetic nervous system, the fight-or-flight response firing at a low level.
Yeah.
Constantly. It's stress. It's hypervigilance.
Right.
Now, most people try to fix this by smashing the radio, numbing out with scrolling food or substances, or by buying a new radio, thinking they're just broken.
But Spectrix argues that the hardware is fine, the signal is just weak.
Precisely. Breathwork acts as the tuning dial. By manually adjusting the breath, you can lock back onto the clear signal of the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode.
You're hacking the feedback loop.
Totally. Usually the brain tells the body to be stressed, but if the body starts breathing like a relaxed person, the brain gets confused and eventually says, oh, I guess we're safe, and shuts off the alarm.
That actually leads to a philosophical point in the text that I highlighted 3 times. Breath work isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about remembering what already works.
Yes.
That is such a departure from the usual marketing we get, which is all about how flawed we are.
It shifts the locus of control. You aren't acquiring a new skill. You are recovering an innate ability. The body knows how to regulate. It wants to regulate.
But it can't.
Well, our modern environment, screens, deadlines, constant dopamine hits, it keeps the dial jammed on static. Spectrix is just the WD-40 that loosens the dial.
Okay, so if the mechanism is just tuning the radio, why does breathwork have such a wild reputation? We have to address the hyperventilating guru in the room. Because when I search for breathwork online, I see videos of people screaming, shaking, and crying.
And this is where we need to be really, really precise, because the source material spends a lot of time differentiating Spectrix from those high-intensity methods. There are a lot of myths keeping people away from this practice.
Let's break those down. Myth number one is the big one. Intensity equals efficacy.
Oh, yeah.
There is this whole no pain, no gain mentality that says if you aren't panting until your hands cramp up, which I learned is called tetany, then you aren't actually healing.
This is what the source calls the catharsis trap. And the Spectrix material is absolutely adamant about this. Overwhelm is not transformation.
Say that again? Overwhelm is not transformation.
Biologically, if you hyperventilate specifically to induce a high-stress state, you are flooding the system with adrenaline and blowing off massive amounts of carbon dioxide.
Oh.
Yes, it feels intense.
Sure.
Yes, you might see colors or feel tingling, but are you regulating the nervous system? No. You are blasting it.
So you're essentially adding more static to the radio just to see how loud it can get.
Exactly. And for someone who's already chronically stressed or has trauma, that intensity can actually backfire. It reinforces the idea that safety doesn't exist. Spectrix argues that regulation comes first. You have to build a floor before you can blow off the roof.
That connects right to myth number two, the crying metric. I feel like social media has convinced us that if you don't have a sobbing emotional breakdown, the session was a failure.
It's this standard that drama equals healing. But the text points out that healing is so often quiet. Sometimes the most profound shift is simply silence.
Yeah.
It's feeling your shoulders drop 2 inches. It's the absence of the rush. If we judge our internal progress by external performance, we are missing the point entirely.
And myth number three is the heavy one, re-traumatization. There's this old school therapy idea that you have to relive your trauma to get over it.
The whole face your demons thing.
Right, like you have to drag the ghost out of the closet and wrestle it.
That view is becoming really outdated in clinical psychology, and Spectrix aligns with the modern trauma-informed approach. You do not have to relive trauma to heal it.
That's a huge relief to hear.
In fact, dragging someone back into a traumatic memory without establishing immense safety first is dangerous. The goal of Spectrix is to feel safe in the present moment. It's about teaching your body right now that the tiger isn't in the room.
And finally, a quick disclaimer from the source material, which feels important to state clearly.
Yes.
Breathwork is not a medical cure.
Crucial point. This is a wellness practice. It supports your baseline health, but it is not a replacement for medication, surgery, or therapy. It's a tool, not a miracle.
Okay, so we know it's not about screaming into the void. Let's talk about what the Spectrix method actually is. The documents outline 4 specific pillars that differentiate it.
They're sort of the guardrails.
I think we should walk through these because they act as a really good compass for anyone interested. So pillar 1, safety before intensity. We touched on this, but practically, what does that look like?
It means titration. In chemistry, you add a potent substance drop by drop. Right?
Yeah.
You don't just dump the whole beaker in at once.
Right.
Spectrix applies that to the nervous system. If you start to feel overwhelmed or panicked during the breathing, you back off. You return to normal breathing. The goal is to widen your window of tolerance, not to shatter it.
Okay, pillar 2, awareness before catharsis. This one stuck out to me because it feels like the opposite of checking out.
It is. So many people use intense exercise or even some forms of meditation to check out of their body because it's uncomfortable. Spectrix asks you to check in.
To notice.
To notice. It's about metacognition, just seeing, oh, my chest feels tight, or I'm feeling a bit of sadness.
Yeah.
Without needing to fix it or force it out. You can't change what you don't notice.
Pillar 3, coherence over performance.
This is huge for the high achievers listening.
Okay.
We are trained to perform everything, our jobs, our workouts, even our sleep. In Spectrix, there is no gold medal for breathing the best. Coherence refers to the synchronization of your heart rate variability, your breath, and your brain waves.
So it's about the system working efficiently, not impressively.
Exactly. Functionality, not fireworks. I think that's the phrase they use.
It is, and it leads perfectly to pillar 4, integration over spectacle.
This was my favorite.
Mine too. It basically asks, so what?
Exactly. You had a wild, trippy breathwork session on Sunday. Cool. But how did you react when your toddler spilled milk on Monday morning?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Did you scream? Or did you have that split second of pause? The spectacle of the session is irrelevant if it doesn't integrate into your actual messy life. The magic isn't in the session. It's in the residue it leaves on your nervous system.
The source material has a quote that I think sums this all up. The goal is not to blow your mind, it's to help your mind and body work together again.
It's so manageable.
It feels respectful of the fact that we have lives to lead.
It respects the user's agency. It's not about following a guru. It's about building your own capacity.
So let's get practical. Let's say I sign up for a Spectrix session or I download a guided track. What am I actually doing? Am I lying down, sitting in a lotus position?
The structure is designed to be really predictable, to enhance that feeling of safety. It usually starts with orientation and consent. They tell you exactly what's going to happen, no surprises, you're in the driver's seat.
Then you move into the active phase. But unlike the intense methods where you might do circular breathing for an hour to induce a trance, this is described as gentle, guided breathing.
Right. It might involve slowing the exhale to double the length of the inhale, which is a known trigger for that parasympathetic relaxation.
Or like box breathing.
Or box breathing to focus the mind. It involves observing the breath and shifting the rhythm, but always keeping it within a range that feels manageable.
And then grounding and integration, they don't just kick you out while you're feeling all spacey.
Never. They make sure you are back in your body, feeling your feet on the floor, feeling the weight of your hips before you re-enter the world. They explicitly avoid breakthrough chasing.
Right.
If you have an epiphany, great. If you just feel a little more relaxed, also great.
Now, I want to talk about who this is for, but also who it isn't for. Because the wellness industry often pretends everything is safe for everyone, all the time.
And that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Spectrix is very clear about listing specific contraindications. Because you are altering your blood chemistry and blood pressure, people with cardiovascular issues, severe uncontrolled hypertension, or a history of aneurysms need to be very, very careful.
What about pregnancy?
It requires modification. Deep retention-based holding or really rapid-fire breathing is generally a no-go.
Huh.
And crucially, looking at mental health people with active psychosis, severe dissociation, or unintegrated trauma should work with a clinical professional, not just a breathwork facilitator.
The notes frame this so well. They say this isn't gatekeeping, it's discernment.
Power requires discernment.
Yes.
If a tool is sharp enough to cut through stress, it's sharp enough to hurt if misused. That's just reality.
Okay, we've been talking about this radio and this tuning for a while. I think we need to actually check our own signals.
Let's do it.
The source material suggested a diagnostic experiment, and I actually tried this while I was prepping the show. It was illuminating.
It's a great reality check. And listener, you can do this right now. You don't need to close your eyes. You can keep walking or washing the dishes.
Right. Let's do this together. Step 1. Just sit or stand comfortably. Don't change anything yet.
Just let your weight settle into your feet or your chair.
Step 2. Place one hand flat on your chest, right over your heart, and place the other hand on your belly, right over your navel.
And now the instruction is key. Don't fix your breath. Don't try to be a good breather. Just breathe how you were breathing 10 seconds ago.
Okay. Step 3. Notice. Which hand is moving more? Is it the top hand on the chest or the bottom hand on the belly?
Be honest. There's no grade here. Just information.
When I did this earlier, my top hand was doing all the work. My chest was heaving up and down, and my belly was totally still.
And that is the physical manifestation of static.
Yeah.
If the top hand is moving, you are breathing vertically. You're using the accessory muscles in your neck and shoulders.
Which signals danger.
It signals to the brain that you are in a mild state of emergency. You are essentially engaging a low-grade fight-or-flight response while sitting at your desk.
So let's try to tune the dial. Step 4. Gently invite the breath to move that bottom hand. Don't force it.
Just imagine a little balloon in your stomach inflating as you inhale
Yeah.
and deflating as you exhale.
Keep the chest relatively still. Let the diaphragm do the work.
When that belly expands, you are physically massaging the vagus nerve.
Yeah.
You are manually flipping the switch to safe.
Let's just do that for 2 or 3 breaths. In,
Up.
belly rises, out, belly falls.
Now, ask yourself the Spectrix question. Did that feel rushed? Did it feel smooth? Where did you feel the resistance?
For me, I noticed that when I switched to the belly, my shoulders instantly dropped. It was like my body realized it didn't need to hold them up by my ears anymore.
That's the biological hack. You send a safety signal from the bottom up. We spend so much time trying to think our way out of stress top down.
Don't be stressed. Don't be stressed.
It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But if you change the breath, the body sends the message to the brain. We are safe. And the brain has to listen.
It's so empowering, isn't it? It connects back to that idea that we aren't broken. We just forgot how to use the equipment.
That's the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
We often think we need to go away to relax.
Yeah.
We need the vacation, the retreat, the spa day.
Right.
But your breath is the one thing that is always with you. It is the ultimate portable tool.
The source material calls breath a companion. I really like that. It's not a slave you have to master, and it's not a wild animal you have to tame.
It's a partnership. The goal isn't to control the breath like a tyrant. It's to cooperate with it. And when you cooperate with your physiology, you stop fighting yourself. That saves a tremendous amount of energy.
So, what does this all mean for you listening right now? I think it means that the next time you feel that static, that garbled, anxious noise in your head, you don't have to just suffer through it. You don't have to wait for the weekend.
You have a dial. It's right under your nose. And you can turn it, even just a millimeter, by shifting to a slower, belly-focused breath.
The source leaves us with a provocative thought that I think is the perfect place to land. They say, breathwork shouldn't be just another task added to a to-do list.
Oh, that's good.
It should be viewed as coming home to yourself.
That is beautiful. In a world that is constantly pulling us outward, demanding our attention, demanding our outrage, the breath is a standing invitation to come back inside, to find that coherence.
So whether you dive into the full Spectrix method or you just take 3 mindful belly breaths at your desk today, we invite you to use the dial.
Indeed. It's the simplest, most powerful technology you own.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll catch you on the next one.